Hello, my name is Kimberly from Kimberly's Mindstorm. I am new to BookTube, so I thought I'd do the BookTube Newbie Tag. I do have a few older challenge videos when I did the BookTube-a-thon, but this is my first official video. Okay, so I went online and I looked for the BookTube Newbie Tag, and there's about 7 questions, so I'm just going to go through those and try to answer them as thoroughly as I can. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, I've been watching YouTube for a very long time, and I watched something else on YouTube and it linked over to a book channel. And I didn't even know that existed. I thought, well, that was really neat. So I watched that and it linked to others, and I watched a lot of her videos and I saw other people's videos. And I thought, well, this is a thing. And so I kind of found BookTube that way. And after watching a lot of videos, I thought, well, I can make videos. And I thought it'd be more interactive with people, so I'm not just leaving comments, but they can see me and see my personality a bit more, and then when I leave comments, they can know who's commenting, and we can have more of an interactive relationship. So I thought I could do it, so I'm trying. Okay, question number 2. What are some unique things that you think you can bring to BookTube? I think that I give another perspective. I think everyone does, and so when you have more people in the BookTube community, you can have different perspectives. I tend to see things from different points of view, so I can help out a conversation or a discussion in that motif. So if someone's fighting for one side, I can go to the other and be like, oh, but did you see it from this point of view? Or even a minor character's point of view versus a major character. So I think that would be helpful and kind of fun to add a little bit of difference into the BookTube community. I also like different kinds of books. I do read mostly young adult novels, sci-fi and fantasy based. So, you know, like adventure novels with a little bit of magic thrown in there, or supernatural something. I also enjoy children's books, so like Jumanji and a few of the other books that you may have grown up with as a child. I think they can still have a really important, meaningful story to tell, and the illustrations are gorgeous. So I like that as well, and I'll read middle grade books. Okay, number 3. What are you most excited about? I think I'm most excited about interacting with other booktubers I've watched and people that may not even make videos but like to comment on videos, and they watch videos and add to the discussion, and so I can interact with you guys more. So if you're watching this, I'm excited about interacting with you. So please leave a comment, please subscribe if you feel so inclined, and we can get to know each other a little bit more, and then we can have some really good book discussions and discuss some books that we're reading. So that I'm excited about. Another thing that I'm excited about is it will kind of have a forced priority that I have to read. Sometimes I think of reading as something pleasurable, so I'll read the books that I love to read when I have time. And I don't have a lot of free time, so this will kind of make it more like a fun job, I guess you would say. So I have to read that book because I'm a booktuber now, and so I have to read books in order to do videos about them. So it kind of gives me that extra incentive to read the books that I love to read. Okay, number 4. Why do you love reading? I love reading for the stories. I think that when you have different people telling stories, you can get really complex, rich stories that have meaning to them. I've never been much on small talk or like little light conversational things. I kind of like to get into the deep, complex, like, why do you think that way? Why did you do that? Why did you interact or react that way? So I really like to see that. Okay, what book or book series got you into reading? Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. So, the different books I've read since I was really young, or my parents read to me when I was really young, and I always enjoyed stories, even more so than books. So even making up stories and telling stories and things like that I enjoyed, even creating my own. So some of the books that I read when I was really young were the Serendipity series, where they were read to me, like Morgan and You, and other books like this. So this is one of my earliest memories when I was young and reading. And then as I got older, I remember the Animorphs series. And I don't have any books with me right now. They're at another bookshelf farther away. I still have them. I have the entire series of Animorphs books. And they're the ones I can first remember asking my parents to go to the store and buy me. And I had to read the next one in the series. I think I started with number 8, and then I went back to number 1, and I read every book in that series to the very end, and there are tons of books in that series. So I remember asking for the next one. You really got to know the characters, and you fell in love with them, and you cared about their story. So that was one of the ones I really remember. The final one that I would say had a big impact on me, especially when it came to young adult reading, were books by Tamara Pierce. She is my favorite author. So I actually asked my mother and my sister also, I have a twin sister, if we could get a book. And so I picked out a book and she picked out a book. And we got the first one in this series, which is actually the Immortal series by Tamara Pierce. And this is Wild Magic. And then we got the second one, turned out to be a different series. We didn't know that at the time, but this is the Song of the Lioness series with Alana. So I read this series first, which actually comes after this series. And I came back and read this series of Alana's books. And they are still to this day my favorite series and my favorite heroes, like characters and heroines. So you have some good, strong female characters, which I really enjoy reading about. Okay. Number 6. What are some questions you would like to ask your favorite booktubers? I think the question that I'd like to ask the most is, if you had a time machine, like a TARDIS or a DeLorean, and you go back in time to when you were first starting off, what would you tell yourself? Like, what's something that you wish you would have known then? I think a lot of times you learn things after they've already happened through experience, and sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you kind of wish, you're like, oh, it would have been nice if I knew that ahead of time. Looking back in 2020 hindsight, you can see all these little details you might have fixed or might have changed that just could have made your life a little bit easier. Question number 7. What challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome for your new BookTube channel? I think editing could be one of the hardest ones, being that I've done this question about 5 times halfway through, and then I had to restart again because I said something funny or I didn't read the question correctly or whatever. So I think that will probably be the hardest thing. We'll see. You never know though. That's always a mystery. Number 7. What challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome for your new BookTube channel? Well, I think it'll be easy as pie. I rock this. Okay. Another thing I thought of that's going to be challenging for me is I tend to be quite shy and soft-spoken at times. So actually speaking out loud instead of just kind of thinking about these things to an audience is going to be a little intimidating. But I've seen a lot of other people do that are also kind of shy, and so hopefully it's something I can overcome. That's all the questions for the BookTube Newbie Tag. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please subscribe or comment below. Just say hey. I'd love to come check out your videos as well, so if you've done a newbie tag or you're an established booktuber and you just kind of want to say, hey, come check out my videos, you might like them, we have this in common or that in common, or completely new. Go ahead, leave a comment, tell me down below, and I'll definitely go check out your channel as well. Okay, thank you guys. Bye. This is Isabel, my kitten. She's 15 years old now, but she's still my baby. She doesn't really want to be on YouTube. But she always had to be this once. Won't you, Isabel? Oh. Okay, good girl. Okay.